Welcome to another video. What's up, my boys?
So we have 10 points, and the first one is slowing down. And that this is a point that it's had great impact on me, especially since I have never been slowing down. Oh, actually, also you, Amelie, because you are
Very much me.
the picture of restless. And when we've been living in Copenhagen, in Lisbon, it's been very much hectic life every day. Always something has to happen. Always.
Yeah.
And here in Madeira, we've been forced to just slow down and not do something always because you simply don't have all the temptations that you would have in a city with millions of people.
Generally, when you live in a big city, everyone is running on the clock, you know. They have to be at work and they have to do this and that, and it's just like so busy. But here, it's really, really calm. People are like, if it won't happen today, it will happen tomorrow. And it's pretty nice, actually.
It's you still have the rat race here on Madeira, but it's a sedated rat race. And I think slow living is the trend we will see more of in the coming years.
Yeah.
So
But I think one thing that comes with this slow life on Madeira is also that you have to be more patient.
which
And
is the next point.
That is the next point. And I think already when we moved to Portugal from Denmark, we learned patience. But moving to Madeira, it's another level of patience because it's an island, you know? And what they say about island mentality, it's slow. And I love it.
I mean, it's still kind of a challenge in some way. The art of patience, especially when you are brought up in Denmark like us. In Denmark, you don't have patience at all. It's about getting things done immediately.
Everything should have been done yesterday. But actually, when we say, oh, it taught us patience, it's not like we became patient. It's just that it constantly teaches us to practice patience.
I think
because we're not that patient.
the impatience comes from always wanting the result
future.
immediately.
Yeah.
And I'm guilty of that. I want the result now. What is number 3, Amelia?
That island fever is a gift. And it might sound crazy. First of all, I think some people don't even know what island fever means.
Which beats me.
Yeah, island fever means that when you live on an island, sometimes it gets claustrophobic and you just feel like you need to escape the island. So one thing we learned about this island fever is that it actually pushes us to explore the island and go deeper into every little corner of Madeira. And we have definitely felt like we needed to go and explore. But instead of traveling out, we've been trying to teach ourselves to travel more within the island. And then also one thing I've learned is that when we then escape island fever, because sometimes it does push you to go and explore other parts of the world, it's actually rewarding because you miss the island and you want to come back home.
The way I see island fever as a gift is that you will be confronted with who you are in a way, because we have, like, ever since we met each other, we have not been the same place for more than a year and a half, the longest. It's been constantly novelty, and now we've been here for 3.5 years. We have certainly gotten past the honeymoon phase
Of Madeira.
and sometimes for me I've been like, maybe we should move somewhere else. Maybe we should go back to the mainland. What about Mauritius? What about Asia? What about Mexico? We it's so hard not to entertain these ideas where you just want to go somewhere new. But what happens when you go somewhere new is that after a year and a half, you want to go somewhere new. And that is something where then it's not the place I am that is the problem. Then it's me who's a problem. And kind of addressing that creates growth, I think. Figuring out what is it that makes me so restless? Why is it that I can't find peace? What more can I ask for on an island like Madeira? So island fever is a gift.
The next one is that community is a gift. I think Jon and I have always been very on our own path. We've had some few friends and it's been fun, but after we moved to Madeira, we really see why community is important. We have learned from the people here on Madeira that they stick together. That sense of community is also trickling down on us. And now we are actually becoming much more community minded. We want to help people in need. We want to help our friends when they're in need. We are much more close to people than we used to be. In Denmark, you barely talk to your neighbors unless there's an issue, or if the dogs play together or kids play together.
Especially coming from Denmark, we have learned so much from Madeira. And, our Danishness has stuck with us, especially when we lived in Lisbon, because the amount of friends we had like less than a handful of friends we were hanging out with in Lisbon. And then when we moved to Madeira, our network has just exploded, which is interesting that we have to come to Madeira to get a lot of friends. Most people, they say that you will never get friends better than the ones you grew up with, the ones you went to primary school with, the ones you went to high school with. And I believe that up until, moving to Lisbon or even living in Lisbon. But after living in Madeira now, I realize that you can get some of your best friends and lifelong friends when you are
an adult.
An adult.
Yeah, it's very cool.
So community also makes us happy.
Yeah, for sure.
I think
it brings us a lot of joy.
I do think that we live in a world where community is not so prevalent. Social media has made us more isolated than ever. And that's also why when we think about what is our purpose in life, what is it that we want to achieve, I think building communities is one of the aspects of life that we want to focus more on. And
we are already.
We are already. We have a few things coming up in regards to community.
Yes, but not for this video.
Not for this video.
Så lad være med at pisse mig af hele tiden. Og være ond ved mig og sige, at jeg ikke kan finde ud af tingene.
Hvad? Jeg roser dig konstant.
For hvad?
For at være smuk.
Det roser mig overhovedet ikke.
Jeg roser dig.
Du siger, at jeg ikke kan finde ud af mikrofonen. Det er overhovedet ikke svært.
Altså...
Hvad vil du gerne sige?
Det lykkedes dig.
Igen?
Ja, og jeg siger, at du klarede det godt.
Nej, det gør du ikke. Du siger, at du trykker jo bare.
So, spiritual growth, guys, that's one of the areas.
This is a topic that we don't necessarily... Jon calls it spiritual growth. I call it personal growth.
What's the difference?
Spiritual growth is about your relationship to God. Personal growth is about your relationship to yourself.
Is spiritual growth related to God?
Spirituality is correlated with the fact that there is a God or a higher power.
But believing there is a God is maybe down the road of spirituality. Like when you start with spirituality, you just kind of believe that there is more between
hang on. I'm going to stop you there just so that we get the definition. What does spirituality mean?
Spirituality is a broad concept that encompasses a sense of connection to something larger than oneself, which can involve a search for meaning in life. It often involves practices and beliefs related to the human spirit or soul, as opposed to material or physical things.
But regardless of what it means to us, it's definitely something that has happened because we moved to Madeira. When life is slower, when you have less on your plate, you have time for introspectiveness.
When we moved to Madeira to begin with, it was just one long vacation for me, sitting on the balcony in our apartment, drinking wine all the time, and just enjoying life. And that escalated into, obscene amounts of alcoholism and drinking. But I don't drink anymore now. But that quitting alcohol has been... I'm sober. I think you kind of need to have some kind of spiritual growth to be able to stop drinking alcohol, because otherwise it's just going to be so difficult. And Madeira has a big community of people who I think there is this shared interest in spirituality here in Madeira. It attracts people who are looking inwards, and so having this community of people who believe in spirituality has helped us so much.
Yeah, and there is definitely less of the hustle culture and more of the spiritual, more personal growth culture. And I think that's the main thing that changed for us. It's no longer about earning a shit ton of money. It's more about living life to the fullest. And that is a big change in our life, I think.
You know, our spirituality started with our neighbor moving in Funchal in the apartment. He was the one who brought us to Brazil, where we did ayahuasca, where we started all of that. And
when we opened the can of worms.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like we changed and now we are enlightened and
Certainly not.
Prophets and whatever. It's not like that. It's just that we definitely feel like we can go more deep with ourselves now.
Starting the path of spirituality is very, very difficult and confusing and confronting and soul-crushing in many ways. But I also believe that once you embrace it, you start the path of truth.
Are you serious? You never stutter. I think one of the best things we learned after moving to Madeira is the importance and the value of being self-sufficient, which is one of the reasons we are planting our huge garden here, because being able to harvest and grow your own food is super rewarding. And both Jon and I believe that it's actually healthier for you to eat food that you grow yourself, not only because you are in control of not spraying it with poison and whatever, but also because the connection you have with nature and with your land and with the food that you grow is very profound.
But let me emphasize that we are not riding the high horse just yet, because we've not done any of that at all. It's more that we have gotten familiar with the concept of being self-sustainable, being self-sufficient with food, and Madeira has sort of led us on the path towards true health. This is where we are, well, we're not there yet, but we have become very passionate about pursuing true health. And when you live on an island like Madeira, which is the most fertile soil imaginable, then the idea of being self-sufficient with food is just one of the most appealing aspects of life. And obviously, we haven't even planted the seeds yet, and we don't have the fruit trees yet.
We have nothing.
So we're not exactly picking our own food yet.
And we also don't understand how much work it actually is.
We don't know anything about all this, but getting familiar with the concept is a lot. It means a lot that your awareness goes beyond the idea that you can only buy food in the supermarket. And also, when you look around the world and the trend, then it's growing your own food. You're starting to see communities that grow their own food, and it's like this rebellion against the establishment. You know, we want to have our own food that is not sprayed with garbage, and eating a strawberry that is actually red inside and not white. So that is what Madeira has taught us. But next one is about nature.
So let's go in nature.
So let's go. Guys, look. The landscaping is coming along. We got the Mexican ponytail. We got the vines. These vines are gonna grow up here and cover all of this with greens. So, yeah. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast.
So we are going to nature. Well, we are in nature, but we decided to stop here. This is one of the places we always stop with our friends and family when they're visiting, because it's so pretty. And it made me think about the guide that we have made about Madeira. And in this guide you get all our selected favorite things to do in Madeira. All the best hikes, all the best food, all the best things to see, the best beaches, everything is within this guide. So if you want to get the guide, we do have a discount code.
We will give you 50% off with the code SUBSCRIBE. This guide is just for anyone living here or coming here. to get the best out of the trip, because we have already sold a lot of these guides,
Yes.
and everyone is like, the guide really helped me, because you are ditching all the places that aren't worth going to, provided that you believe in our
Of course.
suggestions.
We
So
also keep on like updating it. If we go to a restaurant and it's been disappointing, we will also mention it or even remove it from the guide. We
Yeah.
keep on keeping tab of all the things you can do here.
there are photos, text,
Videos
and
sometimes.
videos sometimes of all the places, and when you walk around with the app on your phone,
You can see the map.
You can see what is close to you,
Yeah.
based on your geolocation.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
That's
Go
it.
and the link is in the description.
yeah,
We'll put it there.
or
for
the
you.
QR code. There's a
Yes.
QR code. Yeah, always forget that. But the next point on the list, Amalie, is nature is everything.
Yes.
Nature is everything,
I
guys.
feel like.
Oh,
we
Amalie,
time-
that was the jump cut to the next
Oh,
one.
okay.
Look at that tree. How epic. How epic. It's like a tree that hasn't shaved for years. Oh, whoops. Better focus on driving.
So you no longer care if it's another day. I guess I have been there, I guess I am there now. You knew what you wanted,
Lara?
you fought so hard.
She's only eyes on the prize, Lara.
You hungry?
Huh?
As I mentioned earlier, we're still working on true health, but we're not quite there yet, because we have all these traps here on Madeira. Traps we just can't avoid. And speaking of nature, it's coming after this pit stop.
We're basically eating in nature right now.
Mm.
Look at
Yeah.
it. So pretty.
This is one of the best places on the north side.
I agree. Very
It's
nice.
in the guide. Amalie, she loves going in nature, and she loves walking uphill, mostly uphill. She loves it. It boosts her mood, her energy. Okay, I know you hate this, but
You love it so much.
So of course I miss you and I miss you back. But I also felt this way when I was still with you. But I also felt this way when I was still with you.
I'm the king of the world.
We just talked for 20 minutes
I
and
forgot.
Jon forgot to press record.
Okay, so let's try again.
Let's
But
make it shorter.
nature is everything.
Yeah.
That's something we have learned, because when you live in a city, which most people do, you are pretty far away from nature most of the time.
Yeah, usually
And
you.
I'm talking.
Okay, Camilla.
If you don't mind letting me finish, we can then
Please.
have a conversation, okay?
You forget how important nature is, and we live in nature on Madeira Island basically, and we are always in nature in one way or the other here, whether it's on the beach or it's up in the mountains or just in a forest.
Yeah.
And nature is truly
It's
the answer to everything.
Yeah, it's literally the cure of humanity, I think. If you are depressed, go to nature. If you're sad, go to nature. If you're stressed, go to nature. If you are feeling physical sick, go to nature.
And it's so easy to forget this or even believe it.
It
Actually,
releases the same amount of heavy chemicals in the brain to hug a tree as it does for a child to drink its mother's breast milk. That is pretty crazy.
wow.
It is.
What if an adult drinks his mother's breast milk?
You should call Social Security. I think.
Social Security?
Yeah. Isn't that what it's called? The ones that takes kids, adult kids away from their mother.
Okay, the point is that nature is really important, and on Madeira, we're reminded about this all the time.
But we're not perfect.
Amelia, I'm talking.
We're so far from being perfect when it comes to this. And I think everything we mention in this video, it's not like we moved to Madeira and became saints. It's not at all what it is. It's like we moved to Madeira, Madeira taught us these things, and now we have to
I have
to practice it.
I have a little. It's gonna sound corny, but you have to accept it, guys. Madeira taught us to be human.
Should put it on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be.
We should
It'll be
honestly-
below my never-ending summer.
Why don't we make corny t-shirt merch?
Corny
That would be
t-shirts.
fun. Like beautiful, delicious looking t-shirts, but then they should be called corny t-shirts.
What would be one tagline? Be like Madeira.
It's like a box of chocolate.
That's Forrest Gump.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, we can figure it out along the way. I want to go to the ocean. That's the beauty about Madeira. We're in the mountains. In 30 minutes, we'll be by the ocean, jumping in and swimming.
Chill, Lara. Lara?
Hi,
Do you want to
Lara.
go to the beach?
You want to play with your ball? Grounding.
We not primarily, but a big reason why we moved to Madeira was because you have spring or endless summer.
Endless summer.
Never-ending summer.
Yeah.
And
It's basically one of the two best places in all of Europe in terms of weather.
yeah,
And the other one is the Canary Islands, but you don't get the same lushness as you do here.
and
So for us, appreciating this weather is so important.
I really think that good weather and having the sun is
It's
almost underrated, because when you look at Denmark, for example, you don't see the sun from September until April.
It's just that sun really affects your mood, I think.
Yeah.
That's the thing. And we learned that when moving here, how important it is for us to have the sun. I think we could not go back to Denmark where it's gray almost every day.
Yeah. So
Let's go in the ocean. It is super important to maintain your traditions and make sure that you value where you come from. Remember where you come from. And I think that the Portuguese people are good at it, but especially here in Madeira where you have so much tourism, you still don't feel like the locals have let go of their true traditions just because there's a lot of tourists here. And yeah, that actually makes me, whenever we go back to Denmark, I kind of just want to maintain the Danish traditions. I appreciate them much more now.
and it kind of Lara. Okay, dog mom is coming in hot. Routine is the traditions for me and Amalia, because we never really have had a routine when we look back at our life together, because we've always been on the road. The longest we've been at the same spot without traveling has been a month or two, and then we go somewhere else. It's always been super hard for us to just sit still and go with the flow with the daily routine, and this year 2024 has been in the name of building a routine. I mean, we're not perfect by any means, but
We are getting closer.
this, yeah, I think having a routine is really underrated.
And it's kind of crazy that we had to move to Madeira to learn it, but that's what happened
What are our traditions, Amelia?
in our relationship.
Yeah, that you cook and clean, and I work and earn.
That's we have reached the end of the video, guys. Hope you appreciate it, because that's the last point on the list. No, what we truly have, and I don't know if it's Madeira Island specifically, or if it's because we grew up or are now more mature now, but really appreciating what we have here and what we have in life in generally is something that has come to us the last 3 years. We feel so spoiled, so grateful, and although we have worked very hard for what we got, I always feel like it's almost too good to be true.
It's almost too easy to forget this.
Yeah.
And really not taking things for granted is something that we getting familiar with.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's also new that we actually stop
And really
and
appreciate it.
appreciate.
The other day we were on the scooter and I realized that one thing that I dreamed about in 2017 when we went to Bali for the first time was to be in a somewhat tropical setting, driving a scooter, having a lot of friends around and just living this island life, but in Europe. And I thought it was impossible back then because I didn't really know about Madeira. And then on the scooter I realized, oh my god, I'm living that life. Oh my god, den er mega fed! I'm living the life I used to dream of living, and that is freaking epic.
The best example on how easy it is to forget what you have is to look at billionaires. There's a reason why they shoot themselves in the head sometimes, even though they're sitting on a 100-meter yacht with everything you can imagine. You
That's
know.
just material.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. You know, you are so focused sometimes on what is next, what can be better. You know, what don't you have that you could have, and that's.
We have been masters.
I mean, it's still hard not to
Yeah.
to go down that path, but I think being aware and conscious about life is pretty good, even though you don't have much. Because in the end, if you have your health and sun, you have everything.
You have everything you need. Thank you guys for watching.
See
We
you.
are grateful for you guys watching.
Yeah.
Please leave a like. Let us know what you think about the video in the comment section, and then we'll see you in the next video.
Yeah.
Also, if you haven't subscribed, remember to do
You
that.
just
on your way
asked-
out. No, I said remember to like.
You said also remember to subscribe.
No, I didn't.
Remember to subscribe and leave a like. And also, thank you for
Adios.
See you guys.